Well, the Diamondbacks are headed to the National League Division Series after a huge wild card win against the Rockies. Jordan, we are sticky in Champaign right now. As you can see, we got absolutely drenched. We went right into the fire there with that. What did you see out of this win that just impressed you the most?
Well, it was just so back and forth. Right off the bat, the Diamondbacks jumped on Jon Gray with that Paul Goldschmidt 3-run home run. But then eventually the Rockies started to climb back in, and Zack Greinke didn't escape the fourth inning. And then you have Robbie Ray come in, Andrew Chafin, and then Robbie Ray, Archie Bradley, and then eventually Fernando Rodney. So the theme of this wild card for, it seems like all teams has been get to your bullpen, and whoever has the most effective bullpen wins. And in the case of last night, it was the Yankees, and tonight it was the Arizona Diamondbacks.
You mentioned those bullpens. I saw a note on Twitter about when do you bring Robbie Ray in, and you said, I'm not sure you do, but I kind of said, well, do you bring him in after Zack Greinke, or do you wait a couple? And they did wait after Zack Greinke. They brought in Andrew Chafin, and then they had Robbie Ray come in, and he was just absolutely lights out.
Yeah, he really stopped the bleeding. It seemed like the momentum was starting to shift towards the Rockies. They were chipping away, and it seemed like the Diamondbacks still had the game in hand, had put up 6 runs early, but those Rockies were coming. And when you have a Nolan Arenado, DJ LeMahieu, a Charlie Blackmon in this lineup, the lead is never safe. So it was huge for Robbie Ray to go out of his comfort zone. He wasn't starting the game. He had to come out of the bullpen and really be effective, and that's exactly what he was. We heard in the post game that Archie Bradley, as Robbie Ray was coming out, he said, I gave him a big hug and I hung on for a long time. That just speaks to the camaraderie that they have, but also the moment that Robbie Ray was about to have, and he did exactly that.
Jake Lamb and Archie Bradley said post-game two different instances that they thought the game kind of turned around. Here's what they had to say.
I'm going to regret this, but it has to be Archie's, knock. It was one of those moments where, I hate to say this in front of him, but, the pitcher's up, 2 outs. You're not expecting a whole lot, and he puts this Hall of Fame type swing on a pitch, and yeah, the whole place went nuts, and obviously what happened the next inning happened, but I think it was just one of those things that you are not expecting that whatsoever. Maybe a base hit, but not a triple like that. So that was a big moment.
Yeah, I'll go to the A.J. Pollock hit in the 9th inning. As great as my triple was, to go out there and give up 2 big homers to close the gap back to a 1-run lead. Obviously, I was happy to leave the game with us still having the lead, but facing Holland, who's had a hell of a season. I mean, he's been one of the best relievers in the big leagues the whole year. And so for AJ to put a bat together like that, score us 2 big runs, give us another 3-run lead to get the ball off to Rodney. Anytime you can have cushion like that to take into the bottom of the 9th, you feel really good about Rodney taking the mound with that type of lead.
That Archie Bradley triple, I think, really did turn around. I mean, this place went wild. The momentum just kind of shifted, and the Diamondbacks kind of picked back up after kind of the Rockies you mentioned were coming back, so they just kind of picked that momentum right back up.
And being from Arizona and watching the Arizona sports scene over my 26 years, I had to think about that for a second, over these 26 years, that could be a top 5 Arizona sports moment where Archie Bradley legs out that triple. He said hindsight was 20/20. He probably would have just kept it at a double, but he drove 2 runs in, and this is a guy that's just a fan favorite. The Arizona Diamondbacks, everyone in Arizona just feeds off this guy's energy and what he's been able to do this year, going from a starter to a reliever, really giving up himself to be a part of this team and be very effective. And he comes in a moment where Jake Lamb said himself, they weren't expecting much out of him, and he legs out this triple. This place was absolutely insane. Obviously, Gonzo's probably up at the top, but then Archie Bradley has to be relatively close in there with that triple.
Plenty more huge moments coming up with the NLDS. Diamondbacks will head to LA for Friday and Saturday, then back in Phoenix Monday, and if needed on Tuesday, and then if needed, we'll head back to LA on Friday. The champagne's been popped. They're drenched, we're drenched, and sticky too.
Very drenched.
Lots of exciting baseball to come, and the NL West is just absolutely exciting.
Yeah, it's been from the get-go. These 3 teams have just dominated all of baseball. And so it's fitting that they're going head-to-head here early in this postseason and really duking it out to see who is really the winner of the National League West before they take on the winner of the Cubs and the Nationals.
Keep it here on Sports360AZ.com for more Diamondbacks postseason content.